I just finished 1000 Mephisto runs. Did I find anything good? Let's find out. I began these runs the day after season reset, so the gear that I'm currently using is absolutely terrible. I'm also not using a mercenary because it would die on literally every run. I started at level 80 with a huge 9 magic find and 65 faster cast rate, and my build is generic Blizzard Sorceress. With that being said, let's get into it. My first drop came on run 21. Mephisto dropped a pretty good unique Vampire Fang belt. Nosferatu's coil. It's not very good for me, but it's still better than the belt I'm currently using. On run 28, Mephisto dropped a very good budget unique armor for melee characters and Act 2 mercenaries. Duriel Shell. I'm not gonna use it for now, but it will go on my mercenary as soon as I get one. Then on the next run, 29, I found another unique armor. My favorite armor in the game to identify. Ormus Robes, with 15 cold skill damage and the Blizzard skill. When I rolled it, I really couldn't believe it. I would have been very happy with Blizzard alone, but with the 15 cold skill damage on top of it, that's an absolutely insane drop. Then 2 runs later on run 31, Mephisto dropped a new item for Warlocks, a unique burn text, Measured Wrath, but unfortunately it rolled very low. On run 33, the chest behind Mephisto dropped a magic amulet that I really needed, giving 10 faster cast rate. I can now replace my stealth with the Ormus robes that I just found and still be above the 63 FCR breakpoint. On run 49, Mephisto dropped a very good budget weapon for Act 2 mercenaries, Hone Sunden. The damage is not that high, but the 45 crushing blow and 3 open sockets can be very useful. Then 4 runs later on run 53, Mephisto dropped another very good budget weapon for Act 2 mercenaries, Kelpie Snare. The 75 slow is going to be very useful against Mephisto to help my future mercenary survive. 30 runs later on run 83, Mephisto dropped a Grand Charm, the first killer of these runs, giving 1 to bow and crossbow for Amazons. Then on run 93, I found a pretty good upgrade for me, a unique war hat, Peasant Crown. It's crazy to think that in a few weeks, most people will leave this item on the ground, but early ladder, I was actually very excited to find it. On run 102, Mephisto dropped 2 things at the same time. Some unique gloves and a unique weapon. The unique gloves are Mage Fist, which are one of the best gloves in the game for casters. The unique weapon is Pierre Tombale Couant, which is pretty good for Echo Strike Warlocks. 3 runs later on run 105, I found the first unique ring of these runs. Which one is it going to be? Nagel Ring and with 23 magic find. Not too bad. On run 119, the chest behind Mephisto dropped a very good small charm, giving 11 lightning resist. I will probably use this charm until the end of the season. 3 runs later on run 122, Mephisto dropped something absolutely amazing for my future mercenary. And not only that, but the armor rack dropped a white monarch. The unique demon head is Andy's Visage. It rolled with only 8 lifesteal, but it doesn't matter. It's still best in slot for Act 2 mercenaries. And now that I have a monarch, I can make a spirit. So I went to Larzok to get 4 open sockets. Then I took the 4 runes that I need and I rolled my spirit. And I got 28 faster cast rate. Not very good, but I won't complain. But I need some more strength to equip it, and I have to grind until I'm level 84 to be able to hire a level 83 mercenary to equip Andy's Visage. So I went to do some battle runs, and in there I found a white broadsword, and I decided to make another spirit with it. So I went again to see my friend Larzok, and I made my spirit, and it rolled 28 faster cast rate again. And now let me introduce you to my new Holy Freeze mercenary with Kelpie Snare, Duriel Shell and Andy's Visage. My runs will be much faster now. On run 145, Mephisto dropped a very strong unique Ogre Axe, Bone Hu. It has very fast attack speed and 50% chance to cast level 16 Bone Spare, which deals about 150 damage, so that weapon is a lot stronger than it seems. On the next run, 146, I found a very good unique Demon Hide Sash for melee characters, String of Ears. The lifesteal and damage reductions are especially good for hardcore players. Then on run 158, I found a very nice upgrade for me, a unique heavy belt, Gold Wrap. I really need that extra magic find for now. With this, I'm now at 53 magic find. On run 169, I found another much needed upgrade, a unique amulet. Which one is it going to be? The Eye of Lich. It's nothing crazy, but the 1-to-all skills is better than nothing. 11 runs later on run 180, Mephisto dropped a pretty good unique shield, Gurkay's Sanctuary. It rolled with minimum all resist, but it's still a very good shield for damage reductions. Then on run 186, Mephisto dropped some amazing javelins for throw barbarians, Demon's Arc. It rolled with very good lifesteal but very low enhanced damage. 10 runs later on run 196, I found the first facet of these runs. Which one is it going to be? 3-5 fire level up facet. Nothing crazy, but still a very cool find. Then on run 204, Mephisto dropped the helm that gives the highest amount of resist in the entire game. A unique tiara, Tyra's Guardian. It rolled with only 62 all resist, but it doesn't matter. It's still very useful, especially with the Can't Be Frozen stat. 12 runs later on run 216, Mephisto dropped some unique gloves that we found before. Mage Fist, but these ones have perfect enhanced defense of 30. Then on run 219, Mephisto dropped a new weapon for Warlocks, a unique mithril point, Blood Pack Shard, and it rolled with 333 on the skills and 15 to increase maximum life, and it's Eth. This is an absolutely crazy find. By the way, it would be amazing to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of this season, so if you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for your support. 7 runs later on run 226, Mephisto dropped a pretty good unique Shark Tooth armor, Tooth Row, and it rolled with perfect enhanced defense of 220. That can be a very good budget armor for PvP. Then on run 232, I found a crazy good small charm from Mephisto, giving 8 poison resist with 7 magic find. I will switch to Nova soon, so this is exactly the kind of small charm that I need. 5 runs later on run 237, Mephisto dropped a pretty good helm for Act 2 mercenaries, Rock Stopper, but the resist rolled all over the place. On run 249, Mephisto dropped another unique ring. What is this one going to be? Guardian Wind, and it rolled with the minimum lifesteal of 6. 6 runs later on run 255, Mephisto dropped a unique Grand Charm, a Geed. How is the first Geed of these runs going to roll? Oh wait, no, it's a 75 Light Sunder. What? I didn't even know that Sunders could drop from zones that are not terrorized. Well, 75 Light Sunder is very good, so I won't complain. Then a few minutes later, I traded my perfect Mage Fist for a Mal rune, and I also traded my new 75 Light Sunder for an Ohm rune. Then I traded this Ohm rune for a Shaco with a perfect Topaz. And I know some people will say I overpaid, but Shacos on the second day of ladder go for either a Vex or an Ohm rune. And this one is already socketed with a perfect Topaz. On run 290, Mephisto dropped a magic Grand Charm, another Skiller, giving 1 to demon skills for Warlocks. Then on run 331, Mephisto dropped an amazing unique War Belt, Thunder God's Vigor. The Light Absorb and Max Light Resist make this belt especially useful against the Ubers. 5 runs later on run 336, Mephisto dropped 2 things, a unique bow and some set gloves. The unique bow is Cliff Killer. The damage is not very high, but the knockback effect is very useful for Boazons. The set bracers are Trangold gloves, which are very good for casters. On run 350, Mephisto dropped a set amulet and some unique mesh boots. The set amulet is unfortunately only Cyverb's icon, and the unique boots are Silkweave. The 5 mana after each kill make these boots very useful for Javazons and Nova Sorceress. 17 runs later on run 367, Mephisto dropped a rare ring that is a little upgrade for me, giving 10 faster cast rate with some strength, poison resist, and magic find. 5 runs later on run 372, Mephisto dropped a set amulet that I completely forgot existed, Telling of Beads. 1 to all skills with cold and poison resist. That's much better than my Eye of It Lich. On run 376, Mephisto dropped 2 things at once, a unique wand and a set mole. The unique wand is Black Hand Key, which can be pretty good if you have nothing better, and the set mole is Immortal Kingstone Crusher. Then on run 390, I found the item with the second highest physical damage reduction in the entire game with 30%, Shaft Stop. The only item with a higher physical damage reduction than this is Storm Shield with 35%. 3 runs later on run 393, Mephisto dropped something that I found before, a unique burn text, Measured Wrath, but this one rolled a little bit better than the first one. Then I decided to trade a Mal and an rune for an Oculus to get 1 more skill and 20 all res, but most importantly, 50 magic find. I'm now at 198 magic find. Then on run 397, Mephisto dropped a magic Grand Charm and some unique gloves. The Grand Charm is 1 to summoning skills for necromancers with 5 to strength, and the gloves are Venom Grip. Nothing crazy, but still pretty good if you have nothing better. On run 407, Mephisto dropped 2 things at once, a unique Serpent Skin armor and a unique spear. The unique armor is Viper Magi with 30 all resist. That's an amazing find. And the unique spear is Stone Raven, and it rolled with maximum enhanced damage but only 1 skill bonus out of 3. 2 runs later on run 409, Mephisto dropped 2 things again, a unique bow and a set mask. The unique bow is Kuko Shakaku, which was one of my favorite weapon back in Lord of Destruction. The set mask is Talrasha Mask, which is quite common but still cool to find early ladder. On run 414, Mephisto dropped some pretty good boots for physical characters. Gore Rider. That's a very nice mix of Crushing Blow, Deadly Strike, and Open Wounds. Then on run 427, Mephisto dropped the best gloves in the game from Magic Find, Chanseys, and they rolled perfect with 40 magic find and 30 enhanced defense. That's an absolutely amazing find, but unfortunately I need the faster cast rate on my gloves, so I can't use them. 40 runs later on run 467, Mephisto dropped a pretty good magic Grand Charm, giving 1 to combat skills for barbarians and 39 to life. That's one of the skillers with the highest amount of life I've ever found. Then on run 470, Mephisto dropped some very good set Demon Hide gloves, Horizon's gloves. The fire damage on these gloves is absolutely crazy. 10 runs later on run 480, Mephisto dropped a unique jewel, another facet. What is this one going to be? 3-4 Cold Death Facet. Not very good, but still a facet. On run 487, Mephisto dropped two things, a unique staff and a set armor. The unique staff is Warp Spear, which can be used as a buff and teleport staff. The set armor is Horizon's armor, and it rolled with very high resist and bonus to mana. 3 runs later on run 490, Mephisto dropped three things, some set gloves, a unique armor, and a unique belt. The set gloves are Horizon's gloves that we found before. The unique armor is Tooth Row that we also found before. And the unique belt is Razor Tail, which is best in slot for Amazons and Throw Barbarians. Then on run 494, Mephisto dropped something else for Throw Barbarians, some unique flying axes, Gimmer Shred, but it rolled with very low enhanced damage. On run 518, Mephisto dropped a very good unique sorceress weapon. In fact, it's the one that I'm currently using right now, the Oculus. That's a very nice find. And after this run, I realized that I already accumulated 55 statues. They are literally dropping like candy now. Then 19 runs later on run 537, Mephisto dropped some very good unique Boneweave boots, Marowak. The Bone Prison and Life Tap charges are very useful against the Ubers. On run 544, I found the weapon that has the highest potential enhanced damage in the entire game, Rune Master, with 5 Ohm runes that can get as high as 520 enhanced damage. Then 3 runs later on run 547, I found one of the best magic find item in the entire game, Blade of Alibaba, with 2 Ist runes that can get up to 159 magic find. The only items with more magic find than this is a Tomb Reaver with 3 Ist runes for up to 170 magic find, and a weapon with 6 Ist runes for 180 magic find. Then on the next run, 548, I found a very good unique battle belt for Blizzard Sorceress, Snowclash. The bonus to Blizzard skill, the extra cold resist and the cold absorb make this belt very useful. On run 552, Mephisto dropped a very good unique Joe staff for low level warlocks and sorceress, Razor Switch. The 1-to-all skill, 30 FCR, huge bonus to life and mana, and 50 all resist are very strong for a level 28. On run 557, Mephisto dropped something amazing again, another unique Grand Charm. What is this one going to be? 84 Light Thunder. That's a nice find, but I would really prefer to find the Guide. Then on run 565, Mephisto dropped a very good unique helm for low level characters, Tarn Helm. It rolled with only 35 magic find out of 50, but it doesn't matter. This helm is still extremely strong for a level 15. On run 572, Mephisto dropped something that I found before, some unique flying axes, Gimmer Shred. But their F, that's an amazing find for Throw Barbarians. And even though it does not have replenished quantity, it doesn't matter because the Throw Barbarian will automatically replenish quantities with the Throne Mastery skill. Then 3 runs later on run 575, I found something absolutely amazing for me, some unique Scarab Shell boots, Sandstorm Trek. That's the best boots in the game for a Nova Sorceress, and I will definitely use them later. And it rolled with 69 poison resist. Nice. 4 runs later on run 579, Mephisto dropped another unique ring. Is this finally going to be a good one? Bulkados Wedding Band. Yes! It rolled with only 3 lifesteal, but it doesn't matter. It's still an amazing find and it has a drop rate of only 1 in about 17,000 Mephisto runs. On run 581, Mephisto dropped some pretty good unique weapons for assassins, Jade Talon, and it rolled with 2 skills and very high enhanced damage and resists. Then 2 runs later on run 583, the chest behind Mephisto dropped something absolutely amazing, an Ohm rune. Yes! That's my first high rune of this season and it has 1 chance and about 60,000 to drop from a normal chest. On run 588, Mephisto dropped the item with the highest amount of increased mana in the entire game, Frostburn. That can be very useful for a Nova Sorceress. On run 596, Mephisto dropped some very good set gloves for physical characters, Laying of Hands, and it rolled with the highest defense of 87. Then 11 runs later on run 607, I found the best belt in the game for casters, a unique spiderweb sash, Arachnid Mesh. Yes! That's a huge upgrade for me and I will use it until the very end of this season. Thanks Mephisto. On run 645, Mephisto dropped a very good budget armor for Act 2 mercenaries, Guardian Angel. This is especially good with Kyra's Guardian that we found before. On run 656, Mephisto dropped a very good unique amulet. Which one is it going to be? High Lord's Wrath. Yes! This is the only amulet in the game that gives Deadly Strike. I don't need it, but it has very good trade value, so I'm very happy to find it. Then on run 664, Mephisto dropped something for Warlocks, a Set Demon Head, Horizon's Helm. That's nothing crazy, but still nice to find early in the season. 20 runs later on run 684, Mephisto dropped the item that gives the highest amount of physical damage reduction in the entire game with 35%, Storm Shield. That can be very good for melee characters. Then on run 744, Mephisto dropped the best gloves in the game from Magic Find, Shenseis again, and with 37 Magic Find this time. I didn't show all of them, but this is my 4th pair of Shenseis of these runs. On the next run, 745, Mephisto dropped another unique jewel, a facet. How is this one going to roll? 4-3 cold that fast set. Not very good, but it's always nice to find the fast set. On run 753, Mephisto dropped a unique legend sword with a lot of 3s, Dreadfang. The chance to cast amplified damage on striking makes this sword especially useful for barbarians. Then on run 779, Mephisto dropped a pretty good budget unique bow for Amazons, Gold Strike Arc. When upgraded to a Hydra bow, that becomes one of the most powerful bow in the game. 11 runs later on run 790, I found another pretty good bow for Amazons, a unique short siege bow, Witch Wild String. The damage is quite low, but the chance to cast amplified damage with the very high deadly strike, all resist and 2 sockets make this bow a lot more powerful than it seems. Then on run 811, Mephisto dropped a pretty good rare circlet for Sorceress, giving 2 to Sorceress skills with 16 to strength and a bunch of resists. Nothing exceptional, but on the 3rd day of ladder, that's very good. 5 runs later on run 816, Mephisto dropped a pretty good low-level unique Demon Hide armor, Skin of the Flayed One, and it rolled with maximum lifesteal of 7 and replenished life of 25. That's a very nice find. Then on run 824, the armor rack next to Mephisto dropped an amazing set troll belt, Trangle's Girth. The Can't Be Frozen stat on this belt is very useful for Hork Barbarians. On run 862, Mephisto dropped a very nice magic Grand Charm, giving 1 to combat skills for Paladins with 7 to life. Then on run 900, Mephisto dropped the best belt in the game for casters. Again, Arachnid Mesh, and this time it rolled with 115 enhanced defense out of 120. I already have one, so I traded this one immediately after for 3 Vex runes. On run 912, Mephisto dropped a very good unique weapon for Echoing Strike Warlocks, Oryok's Needle, and it rolled with 4 to all skills. 3 runs later on run 915, Mephisto dropped 2 unique helms at the same time. The unique totemic mask is Jalal's Mane, which is the best helm in the game for shapeshifting druids. The unique death mask is Hellwarden's Will, which is very good for bone necromancers and hammerdins. Then on run 922, Mephisto dropped a unique mighty scepter for paladins, Heaven's Light, and it's F. I'm not sure if this is worth a Zod or not, but it seems very good. 12 runs later on run 934, Mephisto dropped a pretty good small charm, giving 11 cold resist and 1 to strength. I will most likely use this charm for the entire season. On run 944, Mephisto dropped the best boots in the game for Nova Sorceress for the 2nd time, Sandstorm Trek, and it rolled with 68 poison resist. I can't believe my 2 Sandstorm Trek rolled 68 and 69. That's crazy. On run 950, Mephisto dropped 2 things, a unique tiara and a unique amulet. The unique tiara is Kyra's Guardian, and it rolled with 62 all resist again. The unique amulet is Atma's Scarab, which can be very good for Boazons and Throw Barbarians. Then 2 runs later on run 952, Mephisto dropped 2 things again, 2 unique armors. The first is Krolka, which can be a pretty good budget armor for Act 2 mercenaries. The other armor is Colders, which is the best non-weapon item in the entire game for Magic Find. With an Ist rune, it can get up to 148 Magic Find. On run 967, I found something absolutely amazing from Mephisto, the most sought after item in the entire game early ladder. Shaco, yes! I already have it, but it has very good trade value, so I was very happy to find it. 4 runs later on run 971, Mephisto dropped a unique ring again. What is this going to be? 26 Nagel Ring. That's a little upgrade of 3 bonus magic find. And then on run 977, Mephisto dropped an armor that we found before, a Set Russet armor, Horizon's Dominion, but this time it rolled with 2 resists at 25, which is very good. And that's it. I found absolutely amazing stuff in these runs. Blizzard Ormus robes with perfect cold damage, perfect chances, 3 facets, 2 sunders, an Ohm rune, more than 100 statues, and so much more. I'm currently working on a lot more grinding videos, so be sure to click on the subscribe button to not miss any future uploads. Massive thanks to the channel members for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for all the support, and thanks to all of you for watching this video until the end, and as always, happy grinding.